The Festival of Live Digital Art, or FOLDA, is the only festival of its kind in Canada, exploring and presenting live performances integrated with digital technologies. FOLDA's programming is structured to support artists creating theatre in a digital age. FOLDA 2024 will be presented both in person and online, June 13th to 15th. And here to tell us more about it is the co-curator of the festival, Michael Wheeler. Thank you very much for taking the time and coming in and talking to us.
Thanks for having me.
I'll be the first to admit I'm not familiar. Well, actually, I'm kind of confused with this form of artwork. So let's define sort of what live digital art is, and how would you define?
Well, it's hard to define because there's so many forms of art and there's so many forms of digital technologies now. So our festival is kind of thinking about this question about liveness, all the different technologies that are coming along, like virtual reality, mixed reality, artificial intelligence, projection, and how they're influencing live art forms. So I would distinguish that from like film and video, where we're recording things and then playing them. Everything that happens at FOLDA has an element of liveness, which also means that everything that happens at FOLDA has the potential for disaster.
Yeah, I was like, sort of what distinguishes it from traditional live performances in digital art besides potential chaos?
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying to one of my co-curators today, she asked me like, are you excited for the festival? I was like, I'm excited. I'm always trepidatious because it's not just will people come, will the venues be ready, but also like how will it go is a question that we always have.
I'm intrigued by the integration of technology, especially in this day and age with AI and everything else that we're sort of changing rather quickly. But how do artists at FOLDA typically integrate technology into their performances?
So I guess, typically probably I can't answer because every performance is so different and every technology is so different. But what's really specific about FOLDA is that we've realized that if you integrate a technology, it probably is going to have some sort of interactivity related to it. And so there's an extra thing to rehearse that you don't need to rehearse with a typical live performance. So for example, if you're doing a virtual reality show, like how do you get everybody in and out of the headsets? Or if you're doing something that involves AI, like how do people talk to the AI is something that has to be rehearsed on top of the show itself. And so what we do is we have what we call an iterative presentation model. Shows at FOLDA are either alpha, which means like brand new experiment, beta, we're all familiar with beta testing, so we beta test shows. You're beyond an alpha, but you're not ready to open yet. And then some presentations are what we call goes, and those are fully finished shows. And so what that allows is for artists who bring their work to the festival to also engage in audience testing as they're developing the work.
I'll come back to that. I'm still hooked in on the technology. I'm just wondering if there's any particular technology innovations or trends that you've seen.
Absolutely. So this is the 7th edition of the festival. And when we started, digital integration to a lot of people, including the artists involved, really meant live streaming. And like, how do we have one version that people attend physically and another one that you might attend on your computer or on your television? Then in the pandemic, VR and mixed reality became a big thing. We had one festival that most of the things involved some element of those technologies. And absolutely, for the last year, the big technology that artists are interested in now is AI, and how can AI be integrated? And so definitely, we have several kind of panels and also artworks that use AI this year.
That's like a huge challenge. Like, is that the biggest challenge that artists face when sort of creating their live digital art?
Well, I mean, they all have these different kind of challenges, and so like what I feel like we offer at FOLDA that I'm so proud of is the expertise to really do that experimentation. So we have a partnership with the National Arts Center. They send staff down that are familiar with digital work. We have a partnership with Ingenuity Labs, which is a lab at Queen's, and so we are able to access their expertise. We have our own technical team that we hire for the festival, and so when artists come to FOLDA, I feel confident that this is their best shot at seeing whether something works or not.
For a community member wishing to participate, what can they expect when they either see the various versions, if it's a beta test or a go or whatever? What can they expect to see and experience?
So maybe like I will just talk about a couple of the shows specifically because the experience is so different. So there's one piece called Lucy AI. This is more of a gallery piece where you can go into a gallery and meet an AI artwork that this theater company, Blue Mouth Inc., is trying to capture the essence of a human so that you can talk to Lucy. The show's called, or the piece is called Lucy AI, and so it's about talking to Lucy, basically. There's another show called Smart Smart. Smart Smart is about the supercomputers we keep in our pockets, aka cell phones. So you could expect to make a costume for your cell phone, have your cell phone sit in a theater, have some fun games to play while a show is performed for your cell phone. So that's a totally different experience, of course. We have a VR Dome that will be in the lobby of the Isabel, where you can experience a 20-minute film that was taken from across Canada and experience kind of an immersive film that takes you right like from the West Coast to the East Coast with some really compelling music, all by Canadian composers. So they all require something different of you, but they're made for the general public. You don't need any expertise to attend or engage in it.
And you're also at the Broom Factory, which is a smaller venue. Is it more interactive in a smaller venue than, say, the Isabel?
I'm so happy to be at the Broom Factory. For audiences watching here in Kingston, like that is definitely the new cool venue. So many young and kind of innovative artists are there right now, and we just wanted to be there and partner with them because their vibe is so similar to like what we're trying to achieve. Cacao, who's performing there, aka Ricky Brandt, his digital integration is really about the visuals. So he does something called electronic acoustic funk. And he has some really compelling visuals that complete that aesthetic that he performs in. So, you know, the interaction is really just the performer, the visuals, and a good time.
This is the 7th, but the sky's the limit. So what's your hope for the future of FOLDA?
Yeah, that's a great question. Almost opposite answers. So one is just like more engagement with Kingston. We love being here. It's such a vibrant town with such a like big art scene for like a city the size that we are. So the more people from Kingston that get to know FOLDA, it would make me really happy. We also have a real international bent. We hope that the works here, like that we test them, they work properly. Those artists can then tour them both nationally and internationally. We have some very like compelling examples of that happening, but we hope that, you know, because there's nothing else really going on like this in Canada, we can make this a venue for not just Canadian, but also international artists to engage in this sort of performance and testing and exploration.
Good. And where can people get tickets?
FOLDA.ca, FOLDA.ca. All the info's there. You can buy tickets online, the show times, the locations.
June 13th to 15th.
That's correct.
Good luck with the festival.
Thanks so much.